My resignation will be effective in 14 days.
Once defiant in the face of scandal, New York's most powerful man, now stepping down.
It's fantastic. He should have resigned a long time ago.
Governor Andrew Cuomo caught in a storm of sexual harassment allegations and facing possible impeachment.
I think he was doing a good job.
So many questions, among them what lies ahead for our state, now that Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul will be taking over.
Tonight, breaking team coverage from across the state for the next 90 minutes. The governor's resignation is effective in 14 days. Good afternoon. I'm Doug Embledge.
And I'm Ginny Ryan. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul says she is ready to take over. We have team coverage beginning with Matt Malloy.
Despite stepping down, the governor maintains he did not sexually harass anyone. Matt?
Doug and Ginny, the governor says he doesn't believe he crossed the line with anyone, but acknowledged offending the women involved and said he is stepping down for the good of the state. After a week of defending himself and refusing calls for his resignation, a stunning reversal from Governor Andrew Cuomo.
The best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing. And therefore, that's what I'll do, because I work for you. And doing the right thing is doing the right thing for you.
Cuomo still maintaining he did not sexually harass any of the 11 women in the state attorney general's report, instead saying his behavior was not in line with the times.
There are generational and cultural shifts that I just didn't fully appreciate. And I should have. No excuses.
Cuomo specifically addressed the allegations of a state trooper who said he ran his finger along her back and his hand across her stomach.
I don't recall doing it, but if she said I did it, I believe her. It was embarrassing to her, and it was disrespectful. It was a mistake, plain and simple.
The governor said he's watched the coverage of the AG's report with his 3 daughters, and he closed with a message for them.
I want them to know from the bottom of my heart that I never did, and I never would, intentionally disrespect a woman or treat any woman differently than I would want them treated. And that is the God's honest truth.
Cuomo's resignation does not mean impeachment is off the table. Lawmakers can still investigate the sexual harassment claims, among other issues, including COVID nursing home deaths. If impeached, the governor would not be able to run again. Cuomo has promised a seamless transition to Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul.
So, for the first time in history, New York will be led by a woman as governor.
Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul will be sworn in just over 2 weeks and finish out Governor Cuomo's term. As 13 Wham's Jane Flash tells us, the transition may bode well for Western New York. Jane?
Well, for the first time since Governor Grover Cleveland back in 1883, New York will be led by someone from Western New York. Kathy Hochul's rise from Erie County clerk to New York governor, notable for the history it makes and for what it breaks.
Anytime a woman breaks through a glass ceiling that was once considered impermeable is cause for celebration. And there's no doubt in my mind that Governor Hochul will serve as an inspiration to so many people.
Retired town supervisor Sandy Frankel won the Democratic primary for lieutenant governor in 1998 and was among the first to support Hochul in the same role. She recalls a time in her own political rise when female colleagues were few.
It's important that we continue to expand opportunities for women. She's a hard worker, she's very smart, and she's very connected to people. And I think she'll be an excellent governor.
Hochul is known as the lieutenant governor of the people at ribbon cuttings, touting local businesses and the food where it grows, plus visiting every county in the state regularly. Notably, she was born and raised in Buffalo.
She is from upstate. She understands our needs, our issues, our concerns, and she will continue to have that focus.
Called smart and focused, New York also turns to a woman to lead at a time when investigations have found the governor's office to be hostile and harmful to some of the women who work there.
I'm looking forward to working with her, and I think she's a good person to help us through this transition and help us to heal as New Yorkers.
Now, at the time the Attorney General's investigation began, Kathy Hochul tweeted, "Everyone's voices will be heard and taken seriously." After those results were released, she canceled her public events. The New York Times reports she has been meeting with advisors to prepare for this transition. Doug.
In Monroe County today, 93 new COVID cases reported, bringing the 7-day average positivity rate to 4.2%.
Over the past week, more than 100 COVID cases are among young people, half of them under the age of 10. The county reports 3 children under 19 have severe cases of COVID. The health department is seeing a trend as well of COVID transmission in those traveling to and from Florida, small workplaces and households. Dr. Mendoza says regardless of vaccination status, everyone should wear a mask inside, including in schools.
I really don't foresee a path where a school can't reopen fully. I think the worst case scenario would be if there's an outbreak in a school and people weren't masked and we'd be forced to quarantine people.
And today, Dr. Mendoza is recommending schools follow those CDC guidelines when creating their reopening plans.
Now, 1 week after the state health department said it was going to leave school reopening plans up to individual districts, the state education department is now stepping up, saying it will provide that guidance. 13 WAM's Sam Carter has more.
The State Education Department released this letter to districts statewide this morning saying it will provide reopening guidance to schools. Less than a week ago, the state health department said it would not be releasing guidance, instead leaving the decision up to individual districts. The letter from the state education commissioner, Betty Rosa, contained no specific guidance yet, however, mentioned it will have answers to questions about masking, social distancing, remote learning, transportation, community transmission tracking, and potential funding sources for schools. Some districts, like the Rochester City School District, Brighton, and Victor, have already announced plans to have all students back in the classroom full-time. The state education department's letter does not include an exact timeline for when guidance will be released, only that it is forthcoming.